This is The Great Expanse by JohnBap426 here on YouTube. It is a pleasure to come before you guys and to bring you my reaction, my review, my retort, my recap to Secret Invasion Episode 4. It's called Beloved. Now, the episode begins with Gaia in the same state that Gravik left her in at the end of Episode 3. Lying there, apparently motionless, apparently dead. Apparently being the operative word, because Emilia Clarke is a major star, so you knew she wasn't going to be dead, really. You kind of figured that. So, they show a whole bunch of stuff that she did before she left. No explanation for any of it. But she heals herself like the Super Skrull would. She got into that chamber that looked like the cell that they had Loki in the Avengers in 2012. And she's alive now. How? She just is. She did stuff. Okay. So we go forward. Nick Fury's wife, who is a Skrull, dressed up like a black woman, playing to his black fist, black power, okay? She meets with Colonel Rhodes, who is a Skrull, in case you didn't know. Alright? They meet up at St. James's Church, and Nick Fury snuck a bug onto his wife, and he's listening in from their house. And to be totally honest, I was wondering, I was like, wait a minute, I was like, why is it so easy to pull the wool over Nick Fury's eye? Notice I didn't say eyes. I'm like, why are they able to do these clandestine things without him being in the know about it? If anything, Nick Fury is the one that should be the one that's one-upping everybody. And that question was answered immediately because he was spying in. He didn't trust her. He didn't trust Rhodes. He knows Rhodes isn't the real Rhodes either. How? He doesn't need a backstory. Nick Fury doesn't need an explanation. He was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one time, so I don't need that explained. He knows things, okay? So when she gets back from the church after meeting Rhodes, because they talked about killing him and stuff, so Nick Fury has a long talk with her, basically telling her that he knows that she's dirty. He asked her, how did you choose this face? So he always knew she was a Skrull. I'm sorry, I don't think I can marry an alien. Call me racist, call me an alienist, or whatever you want to call it. I cannot marry an alien that can shapeshift. Nope. Because when I'm not going, she could be some biker. You know what I mean? It'll be like the most grotesque person possible. Not saying bikers are grotesque. But obviously I would not find a biker to be romantically attractive or appealing, okay? A male biker, that is, okay? So, when she gets back, they have a long talk, and it echoes the chat that they had in 2012, the year that the Chitauri came and attacked Earth, okay? And they do a little, they had de-aged Nick Fury talking about her. She talked about this poem from Raymond Carver, or Raymond Carr, talking about, I want to be called Beloved. And whenever I hear poetry and I hear Beloved, I automatically think about Toni Morrison and her wacky story, Beloved, okay? So, basically he's saying in so many words, why did I make the mistake of falling for you? And then that's when she explains, I was Dr. whatever her name was. She told me to keep 3 promises. The first promise was to stay a daughter to her parents. The second promise was to be loved, I think. I might be wrong. But the third promise was not to hurt Nick Fury. And the whole time I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to just hear a gunshot from Nick Fury's end. Like, the camera's going to be centered on her, and Nick Fury's just going to shoot her because he's the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. Or former head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's one of these guys that kind of like James Bond, doesn't kiss and tell, doesn't give you a preamble, boom, you're dead. So I'm like, any second now, she's dead. So then they both pull the gats out. First, they lay the gats on the table, the guns. For all of you not in the know about the lingo. They lay their guns on the table, and she says, I want it to be beloved on the earth. And they both pick up the guns at the same time and fire. Boom! I would have preferred if Nick Fury was the one that just picked up the gun and fired, because now you're kind of making it seem like he and this woman, this Skrull, are on an even keel. They both wind up not hitting each other, because I guess Nick Fury bought her story, okay? I guess she did some good acting. She was... And I guess he fell for the wet eyes, okay? So we trust her. They're going to stay married. They're not going to get divorced. So then we see Gaia talking to Talos in a field somewhere. She's asking Talos, because Gaia is her daughter, is his daughter, We know Gravik's plan for giving us a home. What is your plan? And Talos gives a really milquetoast explanation. And it really put into focus how Talos and Gravik are opposite ends of the spectrum for the same cause, so that automatically brought to mind Professor X and Magneto, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. One cause unites two people from different ends of the means spectrum. In other words, going about it in a different way. That's what I mean by means. So Talos' explanation is corny, and Gaia intelligently does not buy it, because he goes, now we have the ultimate bargaining chip. We're going to say that we saved their planet, and then they're going to have no choice but to give us a homeland. Boo! Worst plan ever. Was I ghosting? When I heard that, I'm like, this guy must not know the American government or the president of the United States, the Oval Office. I said, as soon as the threat is eliminated, they don't need you guys anymore. Duh, Talos. The president will be like Gravik was in episode 1. Beep, boom, and just blow up New Skrullos over there in 213 kilometers outside of Moscow. His plan sucks. Gaia thinks it sucks too. She walks off, okay? So then we find Nick Fury in Rhodey's hotel suite. Now, Rhodey, I think, is the Secretary of Defense, okay? Earlier, we saw a female Skrull, okay? Obviously female, in a shower. You don't see any parts of the Skrull. So she wraps her towel up high, so I'm like, okay, so this is a woman. I said, maybe this is Nick Fury's wife. So then she wipes the mirror away, sweep, and all of a sudden she's Don Cheadle. And I'm like, oh, Rose is a female Skrull, all right? So then Nick Fury winds up there, and I guess he kind of informs him with some black hijinks, something about your black A and blah, 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 and the ancestors will reach out from the grave and strangle you. I was like, boo, on this dialogue. I do not like any of the scenes between Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson. It's tacky to me. Very tacky. So basically he says, there's a conspiracy. Basically he's telling Colonel Rhodes, you're a Skrull, and I'm going to tell the president. So then he shows video surveillance of Gravik shooting Maria Hill in the guise of Nick Fury. And Nick Fury's like, we both know that wasn't me. And he says, I'm going to use this as leverage in case you want to go to the president and tell him that I'm a Skrull. Okay. So then, the best part of the series so far is the president landing in a private airfield and his cavalcade. I think it's called either a cavalcade or a motorcade. All right, they're on a lone road, no air support whatsoever, just on the ground, and Gravik attacks from helicopters because they want them to think that the Russians did this. So a firefight ensues, great action. Nick Fury arrives on the scene, and it's just him and Talos. I'm like, what are these two people really going to do against this company? Because Gravik didn't come alone. He had a whole crew. And Nick Fury's crew, they come in later, or it might have been Olivia Colman's people, because I think one of the guys had a strong British accent. So they come to the president's rescue. What's his name? Talos is mortally wounded. Okay, let me say this real fast before I forget. The secret security detail is trash. I'll tell you why they're trash. Gravik's men aren't behind any cover. They're standing up, shooting, and wiping them out instead of being sitting ducks or ducks in a barrel. They should have all been shot dead. Okay. Then when Nick Fury arrives and Olivia Colman's troops arrives, I'm assuming they're Olivia Colman's troops. They're like two lines of them. One is like taking cover. Nick Fury and Talos go to the car where the president is like trapped. He's like upside down. He's unconscious. And there are guys behind them. So I'm like, wait, shouldn't they be hitting Nick Fury and Talos? I'm like, how is that possible? It reminds me of Ronin when Sean Bean's character said, yeah, we'll set up shoot his hair and shoot his hair. And then Robert De Niro goes, shoot his hair, shoot his hair. Car comes through, they kill each other dead. He said, where'd you learn that? That's from Ronin. Okay. So I'm thinking that. I said, why aren't Nick Fury and Talos being shot? Whatever. So Talos is punching through the bulletproof glass because he's an alien. I buy it. I don't need an explanation. One of Gravik's men, I think in the guise of one of Olivia Colman's men, or maybe it was Gravik himself, walks right up and shoots Talos. Point blank range. And I don't remember if anybody reacted and turned around and said, hey, you shot him. So Talos is probably mortally wounded, okay? He's half Skrull, so half pointy ear, half Ben Mendelsohn. Still showing his resilience, still trying to break into the glass so Nick Fury can save the president. And then one of the guys, that's one of Olivia Colman's men that had the British accent, goes, "You're an alien, mate!" He didn't say that, but... And Samuel Jackson was like, well, Nick Fury's like, "He's with me!" So he goes, "Fine." And continues shooting at Gravik's men. So Talos breaks through, Nick Fury gets the president out, and the guard that was helping Talos turns out to be Gravik, because he's giving it away anyway. He's just looking at Nick Fury like, hint, 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 guess who it is? You're close. So Nick Fury just goes, "Get away from him!" In so many words. He probably didn't say that. So he shoots him, I think. Did he shoot first? Did Nick Fury shoot first? I'm not sure. But the bullets don't hurt him because he's super Skrull. Then he stabs Talos like right above his heart, okay? And Nick Fury's like... And then Gravik just walks off, gets in the helicopter and leaves instead of killing the president. Nothing could have stopped him. He was super Skrull. When one of the guards was shooting, he used his like tentacles, crushed him, giving it away that they're not Russians after all, but they're aliens. So Gravik's plan just backfired. And then Nick Fury has to make the tough choice to leave Talos to save the president. Tough choice because Talos is a nice guy. He has the right heart, but Nick Fury's job is to save the president, the leader of the free world. The episode ends with presumably dead Talos dead. And it ended great. This is, to me, the best episode so far of the series. The tone of it is slowly moving towards alien invasion, especially with Gravik using his super Skrull powers, okay? But I wanted alien rather than spy versus spy, rather than subterfuge, rather than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. In other words, like espionage, except with alien people. And this one I like the best. It basically did this. The series has basically done this. It's gotten better with each episode. That's a good thing, okay? So the needle of anticipation is moved forward. Now I'm looking forward to next week's episode, which will be episode 5 of the series, okay? So, thus far, to give it a grade, I'm going to give this episode an A-. Wait, there we go. Sign language A. I'm going to give this episode an A-. This was a very good episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I especially loved the shootout at the end, even though some people were just standing in an open and not getting hit, and other people were behind cover dying. Who cares? Whatever. All right. So, that was my take on it, my reaction, my recall, my retort, my re-up, okay? I never remember the 4 RE words, okay? But leave a comment, leave a dissertation if necessary so we can discuss the episode together in the comment section, all right? I would love to hear what you guys think about my take on the episode, all right? If you think the series has been exactly what you expected, let me know in the comment section, all right? And I will see you back here next week for episode 5 of season 1 of Secret Invasion.